Right, welcome back to the channel. Carrying on from the last episode where I was just going around checking things out. I've actually worked out now the problem with the clutch. Obviously this bike was shipped to the States, so it had US spec bars. The US spec clutch cable is a 51 inch, the English spec with the lower bars is a 47 inch. I measured the cable and it is actually 51, so that's the reason why I've got the problem. The brake cable also is US spec, but that seems to work, but it does curve up quite high. So I've ordered new clutch cable, English spec, new brake cable, front brake cable, also English spec. Today we're going to get on to the actual oil, getting the oil in the bike. I've got the gearbox oil. I've actually made some notes. So the gearbox oil is 500 cc's, primary oil on the primary side is 350 cc's, and the engine oil in the tank is 3 litres. I've actually written everything down. This has come from Steve, so big thank you, Steve. I've got the oil that was kindly donated by Rock Oil, so thank you so much to Rock Oil for actually donating the oils for the bike. It's greatly appreciated. So I've got the engine oil and the gearbox oil. So I've got, as I say, I've got a set of instructions to go through because it is quite different to obviously Jap bikes that I'm used to. There's a procedure that I need to do before I can actually start the bike. I need to make sure that the oil is actually going from the tank into the engine and circulating back to the tank. So obviously there's no oil held in sump. So the instructions I've got from Steve, I'm going to go through those and then start to actually put the oils in, and hopefully it returns, fingers crossed, touch wood. So I'll show you the bits that I've got to do and where everything's got to go, because this is brand new to me. So again, big thank you to Steve. You've been such a help. It has really meant so much to help get this bike done and get it to this stage. The hints and tips he's given me through the whole build has been absolutely fantastic. So big thumbs up to Steve. Right, let's show you what I've got to do. So obviously this is the oil tank. This takes 3 litres. There is a gauge. A dipstick on there. So I've got to fill oil in the tank, then remove this plug, bottom of these cylinders, underneath the carbs. We're then going to take the plug caps off, remove the spark plugs, put about half a cup, that plug there, about half a cup of oil in that plug, replace that plug, gearbox oil 500 cc's in this plug here. As you can just see from this side, there's another plug there which is the primary, 350 cc's in that side. Then we'll replace this plug. Then I can actually start to kick it over. Obviously with this cap off, I don't know if you can actually see in there, right straight down the centre there is a tube. That's a scavenge tube which returns the oil back into the tank. So as you remember when we were building, we've got these 2 pipes that connect through, so one will feed into the engine, circulates round, and then comes back up into the scavenge tube. So I've got to keep an eye on that tube. There's a filter on top, and wait for oil to actually come back in through. And once I can see the oil is returning back into the tank, I can then put the plugs back in, put the caps back on, connect the battery, go with the ignition, and hopefully start. So this episode we're just going to get the oil done and hopefully see it returning. And say it's going to be a bit difficult to see in there, but if the engine oil returns, then we're okay. So this episode, as I say, we're just going to get the actual oils in the right place. So in a second I'm going to fill up, do the 500 cc's of gearbox oil, 350 cc's of primary, then I can fill the tank up, and like I say, half a cup in that plug there, which I've already unscrewed, so that's loose. The other job obviously is crimp the actual fuel pipe. I did have a couple of concerns where people were saying it seems quite close to studs. I've actually moved it slightly so I can angle it round. It's just the stud the other side, opposite of this one. I just need to curve it round a bit further. Or the other solution is I bring it through that hole, but we'll have a look at that after I've done the oils. So let's crack on. Okay, so first undo the gearbox. So we've got 500 cc's to go in this one. Just stuff a rag through just in case. So that cap can go back on. Right, so that one's done. Now I've just got to spin the bike round and do the 350mm in the primary side, and then if you remember, we've got that plug to remove and the 3 litres of oil to go in the top. So I'll get that one done and I'll bring you back when that is filled up. Well, I didn't even get to the other side as we have a leak. Right there. So something's not right. So I need to try and determine where exactly that's coming from. Because there is a gasket in there and it was all tightened up. So before I can move to primary side, maybe a case of this plate off and take this off. Right, let's have a look. Right, stripped all this out. Actually managed to find a problem. I'd actually missed that bolt. Didn't have a bolt in it. I'd done this one and I'd done that one, but I hadn't done that one. So that's basically what I lost. Yeah, so that seems to have stopped leaking. I'm going to try and wipe round the back of that, but it was actually flowing from a gasket behind where that bolt wasn't in place, but these two actually were. So big mistake on my part on that one, but luckily didn't lose too much. Right, so what I'll probably do now I've got this casing off is I'll disconnect the actual clutch cable and then bolt that back in. And so you have to take the bracket off to actually get to it. So now I know that's secure and tight, no leaks. I can just top up the little bit that I lost and I'll crack on with the primary side and hopefully join me for the tank if I don't have any problems with the other side. Right, so that side's all back together. Disconnected the clutch cable. I should actually be able to reconnect it because there's a metal pipe that comes up inside here. Don't know if you can actually see it. That is where it connects to. So I shouldn't need to take this cover off. It's all bolted back in, the bracket's bolted back in, not leaking. So I've now moved to the other side, primary side. I've already removed the cap. So I've got 350 ml to pour in that side. Again, there's a rag underneath, just in case. So let me get that done and then we'll move on to the actual engine oil in the tank, which is 3 litres. Okay, I'll put a rag round now for the 3 litres of engine oil. Want to make sure I can still see the scavenge tube. Yep. Alright, so now I've got oil in the tank. I just need to pour about a cupful in that hole. Plugs are loose anyway. Move that plug and I'll do the one on the other side. So let me get about a cupful poured down there and then we'll start the kick over. Right, so I've just put about a cupful of oil in there. It's actually difficult to get in there, so I ended up using a syringe. So that's in. yeah, I ended up using that. So right, let's go for some kickovers. Seem to have a problem with the kickstart lever. It seems to go down but doesn't come flick back up. Need to investigate that more. Right, so I've just pulled the cover off. The actual spring on the kickstart, as you can see, it's snapped. So that's why I've got no return, no tension. In actual fact, that's broken in 1, 2, 3 places, which is not good. So obviously now I've got a leak, so I'm just going to have to put this case back on for now and actually try and get a return spring, and then look at getting this, how to get this off and get it removed and get a new spring in place. So it's one of them things, like broken piston rings. Yeah, I can't, so that's broken from that. But it's where the inner one is broken, but at the end of the day it's broke. So I can't really go on any further, that's as far as I can go. So I'm going to have to put this cover on there, so I'm going to get oil leaking everywhere, which it is, so that will have to end for today, and I'll try and find a kickstart return spring. Oh, I managed to get kickstart lever out. The actual bolt that was, well, the nut and bolt that was holding it, they need work, but it has allowed me to push the shaft through, so I can actually release. Yeah, so there's one brake, so that would have attached there, and the other brake is there. So that's the other snap, so that would fit like so, and that clips around the splines. Not much I can do with that. Shame, because that kind of halts us now. I can't really do anything. I need to kick the engine over. So I've actually bunged up just with some rags. I don't think there was much. No, that was it. I'll leave them down there just in case. So that does kind of prolong the work I was intending to do. So I wanted to get this with oil actually circulating into the engine, back up to the return, and then we could look at a separate episode of going for a start, but I can't do much without a kickstart spring. I will have a look through the parts, but I don't recall actually seeing one. So really there's not much more I can do at the moment. I may just stick this back on, just loose. I'm not going to bother putting the brackets back in. I'll just put the cover on. Right, so thanks for joining me on that one. As I say, unfortunate that I didn't expect. Obviously I knew about the clutch cable. I say that's that could be ordered. But the kickstand spring, or the kick lever, I've never actually seen them break in that many places. But maybe it was the original part that's on there, I don't know, but I'll have a look, see if I can get another one, and then hopefully when that arrives and the cable's arrived we can get back on and continue on from where we left off on this one, making sure that the oil is actually returning back through. I've now sorted out the leaks. There's no leak from the primary side. I've got a rug, a blanket underneath. There's no more drips on that. I think I've sorted the gearbox side out. It was just that nut missing, or bolt missing I should say. So I know that it's holding oil, so there is no leaks, but I'll keep a check on it. I'm keeping the towel underneath it just in case. That kind of holds me up now on the Triumph. I can't really do a great deal until these parts arrive. Next episode I'll either jump back on the Z650 carbs, or I'll pull the Z-Thou frame down and we'll have some fun and play around with the swing arm that arrived. Unsure at the moment, but we'll see when I get there. I really don't know at the moment. It's put my schedule kind of, I wasn't expecting that to happen. I try and schedule episodes so I know exactly what I'm doing, what I'm working on, but when things break it's unfortunate. So, but join me in the next episode and we'll find out what I'm up to. As always, comments in the comments box below. I appreciate all your feedback, all your comments. I've had so many comments about the Z, about the Triumph. It's greatly appreciated. I do try and answer as many as I can. Link to my Facebook page, also in the description. Pop across there if you want to say hi, show me your bike, show me your projects, whatever you're working on, what your man cave looks like. You know, it's just, I'm trying to build a sort of like a bit of a social network. Well over 630 people have now joined and are following, which is absolutely fantastic. So link in the description to that. There are links to other videos at the end of the video, and as always, big thank you to everybody. Thank you for your support. See you again next time. Cheers. Bye.